Right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do the Fantastic Four, the end, issue number 1 of 6. This is a mini series. We're going to do them all by Alan Davis, Mark Farmer, and John Cleese from Marvel Comics. I believe around this time I was stopped collecting comics. Maybe it was around 2010. I'm not sure. It's been years ago. I came back in 2019, and then recollecting comics. But I was bored because of where the direction of Marvel and DC was going. It wasn't fun anymore. Yeah, so it could be that this is one of the last comics that I really collected before I picked them up, but I'm not entirely sure anymore. I mean, Alan Davis and Mark Farmer are pretty good. So we're going to do this comic, and I have a little bit of reservations about it because, well, first of all, I don't like techno Doctor Doom here. Well, let's dive in, right? So this is in the future where this was probably the last days of the Fantastic Four, where I like the old school costumes, by the way. I mean, Mark Farmer and Alan Davis has also, just like Alex Ross, a knack for the original source materials. So we see a lot of people in original costumes here, which I really like. So Doctor Doom has, I don't know, been injured doing the Mutant War, whatever that was. I'm not sure if that's a real war or a made-up war, because this is in the future. He recovered himself by, making himself some kind of a cyborg, and then, because the world was moving on without him, so he lost his political power and his technological advancement. He became completely crazy and attacks the Fantastic Four. Because what happened? Well, Reed Richards uses his mind to give the world technological benefits. So basically, he ushered the world into some kind of an age of peace and prosperity. Doctor Doom, of course, doesn't like that because, well, he thinks he wants to have power, right? So the world is now in utopia. He says, you think there'll be peace if you eliminate hunger and disease by giving the mindless masses technological freedom? Life is conflict. The strong grow through the adversity. That was the only reason I indulge your existence, he says. Well, he now wants to kill them. But then a demon comes in front of, Doctor Doom, and he's blasting him away. And it's, the son of Reed and Sue. It's Franklin and Valeria Richards. And it's not a real demon. It was just an illusion. Of course, Doctor Doom knows that. And he grabs Valeria. And, Franklin is powering up to attack Doctor Doom. And he's immensely powerful, right? And he's basically so powering up and attacking Doom that something happens, and they are presumably dead. And Reed, in the now, is feeling still to this day very guilty, and he's being examined by She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, and what happened is that he is, like I said, she's praising him for ending the mutant war and survive and allowing the humans to survive on their own by giving them technology. The art, again, looks phenomenal. It looks really good. And that's why I like the Fantastic Four, the technological stuff, the wonders, the amazement. And that's what you're going to see here a little bit in this book. A lot of them, I mean. It looks fantastic. But, Reed says, yeah, I get all the medals, but I still feel bad, right? But, She-Hulk convinces him that he is not responsible. What happened in the meantime that, because of all that, I like the Herbies here, Reed was going into seclusion, working on, technology and working with the government, doing experiments. But by doing that, basically alienating himself from Sue and the rest of the Fantastic Four, right? And basically he says, well, okay, thank you for saying me, and I needed to hear that, because he basically asked for her opinion. So Sue is, doing, archaeological stuff, I believe, Ben is on Mars, and Johnny is working with the Avengers. And then Jennifer said that's, hey, do you know how long you don't see each other anymore? And that you have spoken for when he has spoken with Sue for the last time? It's been a year. Well, he says, well, we didn't argue or fall out. We all just followed our own paths. And you're right, we drifted apart. But he's coming all up with excuses, and Jennifer says, hey, why don't you just talk to her, right? I mean, yeah, I will do that. But, I have an appointment here and need some experience there. And Jennifer says it's not healthy to be here all alone with your robots doing experiments for months. Meanwhile, on Pluto, or somewhere near, we see a lot of, familiar faces. The Enchantress, Quasimodo, who's an android. Even the red ghost here in the background with his apes. And then we have a character that, this is the costume of Captain Marvel, right? But I don't know who that is. I thought it was Viola Fell, but she's not. We have also, what's his name? Something Man. Damn, I forgot the name. Doing something with emotions. Damn, forgot it, but probably Psycho Man. Right. And we have also this classic, fantastic costume of Sandman that I really missed. That's a cool costume. Right, but then it seems that Johnny, who's mostly the hothead and, not that intelligent in my opinion, is, somewhat leading the Avengers, but also not. But so he's talking to Tony, and he says, hey, it seems that the villains are attacking some kind of satellites. That's the quantum field generator. They want to destroy it for reasons because they are in quarantine. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that Reed invented, or was responsible for he talks about it a lot. Let me check. The Methuselah treatment. And if I understand it correctly, it extends human life. And I'm coming back to this a little bit later. But we see also, dude, this is the Molecule Man. You're going to tell me that the Molecule Man cannot deal with Johnny Storm here? He's basically a god. Also, there's something wrong with the perspective, I have to point out. This is a starship, right? Look how big they are. They should be way, way smaller. See? They're way too big. Anyway. But then Tony wants to do something, but he's being blasted by Claw and the Wizard. But it seems that he is already dead. His physical body and only his conscience is alive. And he's going from, if this happening, to another Iron Man suit. So this is Aisha. If I'm saying that correctly, I have no clue who she is. I'm mostly up to date with all of the characters, but maybe my interest was waning with Marvel Comics that I really don't know who certain people are. And I don't remember, seeing her anywhere in Marvel Comics. But maybe she is in other comics, I don't know. But then Claw is now being liquefied along with all the others. And instead of, said, hey, I can see they turn into yellow, but why? Would you say how instead of why? What also strikes me that none of these villains are talking. They don't say anything. They don't shout. They don't threaten. They're just reacting. But then Tony comes in with his new suit with Fury, right? So it seems that the satellite is responsible for disrupting transmission, carrier waves, preventing hyperspace entry and exit within the Sol system. All right, and then we see all this goo go into, could it be the satellite or maybe the other ship? I believe the satellite here. So they need to investigate that somehow. I don't know. But we're not going to see that in this issue. Meanwhile, we have clobbering time on Pluto, and it seems that Ben has some fun with kids here, basically having, a little bit training, if you will. And these are these guys from Adelan, right? So does that they were on the moon. So are they now on Pluto? Or is this Mars? Wait a minute, let me double check. Mars. So, all right. So they are, and they terraform that, and he has also now control of his powers, so he can revert back to his human form. I like that. And he's thinking about his friends, Sue and Reed, and how they drift apart. And then he's now really happy to be a husband. And he thinks, well, I want to treasure this because it can all fall apart in a second. So he's worrying about that, right? Okay, cool. Then we go to Earth, where Sue is investigating some scrolls of the deep sea. And of course, where C is and Sue Storm, Namor is not far behind because he's a simp. And he says, hey, what are you doing here? I said, why don't you, ask me to come around because you are visiting Atlantis or near what? He says, I wouldn't disturb you because you all and the regal monarch of Atlantis stuff to contend with. Ah, what a waste. The past is all rot and decay because she said, I'm doing archaeological research. Has Reed Richards neglected you so that you prefer to sift garbage? Of course, she doesn't like that. She defends Reed and she says, and Namor, simp as he is, he apologized for being a rude ass. And then she says, hey, can I do something for you? Yeah. How about taking me to the oldest garbage dump in your kingdom? All right, so we're going to continue with that. And then, like I said, I like the art and I like all this technological stuff that we don't see in comics anymore. So Jen is still convincing Reed to, stop working and, get back with his wife. But he says, yeah, well, I'm busy. And oh no, we have Wyatt Winkford coming. I have to take this call. So we have Thundra. This is all nostalgia bait, I guess, or fan service, if you will. We see all these characters that are involved in the Fantastic Four universe and their villains, their friends, their associates. Like the people from Adelant. We have Karnak and Gorgon, and also this was the daughter of Black Bolt. The Inhumans, I mean. So, and he basically reports about, hey, I'm bringing some samples about this and that you can examine, but also, about villains attacking some kind of satellite. And Reed says, yeah, it's expected. It will take time for people to accept the immense changes that have occurred in the last few decades for the organic to catch up with the technological. Now, Fundra says that it's sabotage and is beyond random vandalism. Their opposition to science is so absolute that they reject any benefit offered to technology, talking about the villains or people that don't believe in technology, which is strange because as far as I know, if this was real, the wizard was part of the intelligentsia. I'm not sure, intelligentsia or something. He's using technology for his powers. Also, Quasimodo, who is he's technological being himself. So I'm not sure why they are posing technological benefits, right? It shouldn't be that way. I mean, I can imagine if you are, a god and you're being quarantined on Earth and you don't believe in technology, but, in the opposite, I can imagine. But that's not the case. And why is a goddess like Enchantress captured on Earth? Probably all those questions I shouldn't ask, but still. It says, more of a diverse group of spiritual believers united in the rejection of science, particularly the Methuselah treatment, because they content to accept their natural lifespan, right? So they don't want to have anything to do with extended life or something. And then he talks about Doctor Strange, right? He's now some kind of a spiritual leader, and they are, hanging, or how do you say? They gravitated. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Gravitated towards his teachings. And Jen is walking away. She's been fed up. And then we go to the Himalayas, I guess. And then we see Doctor Strange, and this is his daughter that looks like Clea. And he's basically worrying about the future. So I guess this is Doctor Strange getting older in the natural way of, his lifespan, while the Fantastic Four and everyone around them is still young. That's my guess, but I'm not entirely sure. So, and I also don't know what really the danger is here. I mean, what are you worrying about? Are you going to fight them because you don't like the technology advancements or the utopia that has been created? So it's a little bit unclear what really the danger is exactly. So a lot of fan service, a lot of, sorry, ads, a lot of familiar faces, great art, by the way. Maybe the we're getting more explanation in the future books, but still, it doesn't really hook me in. Although the art and the story of the art is great, I don't know where it's going. I mean, the first couple of pages with Doom is probably the most exciting one to hook you in, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see him again. But for now, let's leave it here, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.